Like, follow and subscribe at B.E.A.M for the latest and exclusive content. Yes, people, welcome to another episode of B.E.A.M. It's your host, JR. I'm here with a very, very special guest, a man that's been behind some of the most iconic videos, both in the States and in the UK. The man they call the visual pioneer, the one and only Frost. How you doing, my bro?
I'm very, very blessed, my brother. Thank you for having me, man.
Nah, thank you. Appreciate you coming through. One question I always wanted to ask you, bro, is Frost. Where did the name come from?
Oh, you have to blame my mum. Like when I was younger in school, I used to wear so much silver jewelry. So my mum evidently just started calling me Frosty the Snowman. So I kind of just adapted the name. I went with Frost, and then that was it basically.
Okay. Yeah. So growing up, bro, because you're originally from South London.
Yeah.
What was it like for you growing up?
South London, man. Like it's home. I always loved the area, but it was problems. You know how it is as a young black man, especially growing up in South London. There, you get into certain little issues and beefs and. Yeah, but it is what it is, man. Like we live, we learn, we grow. It wasn't too much for me, man.
Cool, man. Well, when you first got into the entertainment industry, was it as a dancer? So talk about your dancing days.
Oh yeah. We're going way back now. So basically, when I first basically went to secondary school, I always used to love Michael Jackson. So yeah, man, like I started to exercise my dancing abilities, and I went to a dancing school called CNC. Initially just to go and train, and then literally within the first couple of weeks of me going there, I ended up teaching the class.
Wow.
So yeah, like quite quickly I found my feet as a dancer. I started doing a lot of like tours and shows with like various different artists. I danced for like Whitney Houston, Bow Wow, Missy Elliott, Genuine, Mystique, So Solid, Craig David, loads of artists back in the day. And then I got shot.
Wow.
Yeah.
So talk about that, man, because what age was you when you got shot?
Oh wow, I spent my 25th birthday in hospital. So I was 24, 25 basically when it happened.
What was the circumstances that led to you being shot?
I went to one of my sister's events and literally went to McDonald's afterwards at about 2 o'clock in the morning. Myself and my brothers parked up in McDonald's, got in some food, and then literally two guys came to the front of the car. It's a big group of them, but two guys dispersed from the group came to the front of the car, and it was like, get out of the car, you're getting jacked. I was in the car with my sister and two of her friends, and I wasn't about to get out of the vehicle. So we had an altercation back and forth, and then within a couple of minutes, he put the gun up and shot me through the glass. I managed to drive. I didn't realize I had actually been shot at the time, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because I put the car into reverse. I managed to drive out of the McDonald's, and then when I got to the main set of traffic lights on Old Kent Road, that's when I realized, because the lights were red, that's when I realized I was pouring out with blood. So I kind of went into panic mode, and I was trying to drive myself to the hospital now. So yeah, that's basically what happened in a nutshell.
And where did you get shot?
In my neck.
Okay.
Yeah, right there.
So knowing how close you was to losing your life, bro, like what was that like for you? Like what was going through your head on your 25th birthday? Like, what was going through your head?
Honestly, I think at the time, it was a lot. It was definitely a lot for me because I think initially, it's a bit weird, to be fair, because like where I'd been dancing up until that point, I was very, very heavy in the dancing scene as well at that time. But I kind of felt like I had run my course as a dancer, and I was getting a little bit tired. My body at the time felt like I was getting tired of actually dancing. So I kind of felt like everything happened for a reason. And like mentally, when I was in hospital, I remember waking up like 3 days after being in hospital, and the bullet's still in my neck, and where it was lodged, they said to me and my mum that potentially I'd be in hospital for a minimum of 2 months. potentially I might not be able to walk. I'm hearing so many different things the doctors are saying, my mum's saying to me as well. But for me, my brain wasn't having it. I told myself I'm walking out of this hospital, and literally mentally, like I had to force myself up out the bed, and I walked out the hospital after 9 days.
Wow.
So, but literally for me, like I said, like it was more of a mental thing. Like something just switched on inside of me, and there was not a chance in hell I was gonna allow myself to become a vegetable, or like I wasn't gonna allow what these things the doctor was saying to become into fruition. So for me, it's just more of mind over matter. Like I had to take things into my own remit. So that's basically what I've done.
Yeah, man. And then, you know, with that mindset, Frosted Ice Inc. started. Why did you start that? What was that about?
I set up Frosted Ice Inc. Initially to work with ex-offenders and vulnerable young people. So when I came out of hospital, like all I really wanted to do was literally try and give back and help people. Like it was frustrating for me at the time because like I've never been involved in gangs or guns, or like I've never been that way inclined at all. So I kind of felt at the time, why me? And I just wanted to just do what I could to try and give back and to try and help my other black brothers and sisters and just people in general, to be fair. So I set up Frosted Ice Inc. to work with ex-offenders and vulnerable young people, to do like youth mentorships, teaching projects, if it's music, film, art related. So yeah, and that was the sole basis of me setting up the company.
And then your efforts were recognised by Prince Charles, none other than, and you became a young ambassador for the Prince's Trust.
Rather than sit at home and blame the young man who had shot him, he pushed his anger aside to start a new project that tackled the causes of gangs and gun crime. And I'm proud to say that with the support of the Prince's Trust, Ricky set up Frosted Ice, a scheme that uses music to encourage young people to stay off the streets and away from gangs.
I'm really trying to reach ex-offenders, vulnerable youth, kids that are at the risk of offending as well.
I have nothing but the greatest admiration for what he is doing and achieving.
What was that like for you, rubbing shoulders with royalty?
To be honest with you, that was amazing. That period in my life, it's weird because like literally not long after me coming out of hospital, this is when I applied to the Prince's Trust, and they looked at the works that I'd done up until that point, what had happened to me as well, and they was actually very, very helpful with everything that I was doing. But meeting the Prince, the Queen, it was a surreal experience, definitely. And to be honest with you, like when I sat down and met him, initially it was supposed to be a meeting for like 10 minutes. I ended up sitting there speaking to him for an hour and a half.
What did he say to you, bro? What did you say to him?
Wow, we spoke about so many different things, man. Like he asked me about obviously what had happened. He asked me like why I wanted to give back now to these young people. To be honest with you, he was just commending me a lot of the time, and like I said, for me it was a very surreal experience. But yeah, like I'm just grateful at the end of the day. It was a very, very dope experience. And yeah, I got to meet like the king, the queen, the prince. I even met his sons as well.
Okay.
It was dope, man. Dope.
Man. Well, I can't imagine that. That must have been a great experience for you. Frosted Ice Inc. then sort of progressed into music. You got into music, and you started the record label under Frosted Ice Inc. How was that for you? Like, what sort of led you to get into music at that point?
Well, what's funny is before I was even dancing, my main passion was always music. So I was actually doing music production from my bedroom at my mum's house, and I was working with like a couple other producers and a couple other artists as well at the time, and I kind of used dancing as a stepping stone to just to rub shoulders with the right people, because I always wanted to get back into music. So like I said, when I got shot, I felt at the time like I kind of run my course as a dancer anyway, and I felt like, you know what, maybe this is the right time for me to now go back into the music side of things, which was like music production and the artist management side of things, and that's what I really want to do anyway.
And so what type of music did the record label start to make, or what type of artists did you have under you?
So at the time I was working with a couple of artists, one of them being an artist called Jay Parson, another guy called Nay Forsyth, Re-Amplified, Classic, Mighty. I was working with various different artists, but we had like singers, we had rappers, we had like songwriters, music producers as well. So yeah, man, like we was making some real good music, man. Like it was an eclectic mix of stuff.
And then what made you decide to stop producing? What happened?
Well, I didn't decide, but basically the premises that I had in the studio, it got robbed. And literally I lost everything overnight. So I didn't have the facilities to do what I was doing anymore. Like everything that I'd built up until that point, I literally lost in an hour and a half.
How did you find out your studio got robbed at? What was that at?
One of the artists that I was managing at the time, he was in the studio the night prior, and I'll never forget this phone call. He called me and said, "Bro, like, did you just come to the studio?" I said, "No." And he was like, "Oh, you think somebody just tried to come in through the back door?" I was like, "What?" So I said, "Listen, lock up the studio completely, yeah, circle the area, and let me know what's good." So he done that. As far as we was concerned, everything was good. And then the following morning, obviously these guys came back, and the whole studio was completely cleared out, man.
Oh, man, that's crazy. And then, how much equipment do you think you lost? Like, how much worth of equipment do you think you lost?
I lost 400 grand. Yeah, literally. It was just shy of 400 grand I lost. Literally.
So another setback. First you got shot, and then your studio got robbed. Like, what was your mindset then? Like, how did you pick yourself up?
I think after like it was a solid 6 months of me sobbing to myself, crying in my ass, like literally I was a mess, because I literally didn't know what I was going to do at that point. But I just knew that wasn't the end for me. I had 2 cameras left at my house that they didn't get, and I just knew I had to just do something with it. So I just started to just learn how to use them properly. Where I had the equipment there anyway, I had a couple of people that was making videos for me, for the artists I was managing. And I was always very creative in that field anyway, so I literally just adapted like some of the things that I'd learned over the years. And I just started to start to shoot. I started to try and take photos. Didn't really have a knack for that. So I started to shoot videos, and yeah, I just ran with it, man.
Yeah, man. Who gave you your first shot, man? What was the first video that you shot?
Oh, man. Well, the first videos I was doing were for my artists at the time. But I think, what was the first? I done a video for an artist called Colors Miyagi. That was a really good video. It was like had a film narrative to it. But then I just started to shoot loads of different videos back to back. I done like Swiss. I can't remember half the things I've done, but I've done so many videos back then. But literally, like, one person would see a video, and then the next person would hear about that one, and literally like a knock-on effect. So yeah. Before I knew it, I was shooting videos for everybody.
Yeah, man. And you know, in terms of, for me, you're one of the first people I saw using a drone.
Okay. yeah.
So, like, how did you come about sort of getting a drone and starting to use that?
Again, I've been a gadget guy for the longest while, so I love tech. So I used to play about with remote control cars, airplanes, that kind of stuff. So when I knew that you could attach a camera to a drone, I was in love. So literally, I just started. I went and bought so many drones back in the day, and I was just trying to perfect how to use them. But yeah, that was definitely one of my defining points. Like a lot of people started to know me for being that drone guy.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, definitely. That's how I come across you. I ain't gonna lie. In terms of like the drone work, and it's funny you talk about you've done so many videos, because for me one of the most iconic ones was there's a few, but for me Mist. You ain't the same.
Yeah.
How did that come about? How did you first link up with Mist, and then how did that video come about? Because that was a big one.
Do you know what's mad? Like one of the guys that I was looking after as a director, he told me about Mist, and I remember sitting down with him in my house and looking at some of his stuff, like, right, this guy's dope. And then I think we just connected. Like he had hit me up because he wanted to work with me as well, and like we just literally built like a general rapport with each other. Mist is my little brother, man. Like literally. Like that whole video as well. Like people need to understand, ain't the same, yeah, as a music video. It was just so run and gun, yeah. It was so guerrilla mode, yeah. But people don't understand. But it was literally, like I said, it's probably one of the best videos that,
Sure.
yeah, people know me for. But yeah, it was very guerrilla. It was very guerrilla style. The whole video, start to finish.
Yeah. So talk about that, because a lot of people don't know the process, or how much work goes into actually producing a video of that quality.
Yeah.
So like, what's the process like, right from you planning where even to go? Like, what's the process?
Well, generally, like what you would normally do, you'd be given a budget by a label, whoever it may be, and then you'd literally sit down and plan all the elements of the music video from start to finish, the models, the cars, the locations, the narrative. That's what you typically would do. So there's definitely a lot of planning and prep work that's involved when it comes to making like a proper music video. Like I said, with that particular video, all we knew was that we were going to Dubai and we was going to make it work. So literally, we didn't have no plan. We didn't have no prep. We just knew we was going to Dubai and we was going to have a couple of amenities to play about with. So, like I said, with that particular music video, like even like the car scenes in that video, for example, we shot those car scenes literally when we was on our way back to the airport. As God is my witness, I was in a taxi going home. We got a phone call saying, oh, we can use the Lamborghinis if we want to use them still. So we parked up the taxi, went and took the drone out, got the cameras out. I filmed with the cars for about no more than 5 minutes at that. Literally jumped back in the car and shoot off straight back to the airport. So like that whole video was so guerrilla style, but like it came out so dope. But yeah, it was an experience, to say the least.
Well, it came out really amazing. As I said, one of the most iconic videos.
Thank you, bro.
Another iconic video for me, Blade Brown, drug dealer, in LA. You've got to talk about that video, man. How did that come about?
Yeah, man. Again, do you know what it is? Like, again, Blade, one of my brothers, we, for a while, was always going to LA every year. We was going for the B.E.T. Awards, so we knew we was going to be going out there again for B.E.T. Awards. We just patterned up and just, we decided to shoot a video. Again, it was run and gun. So, like even a thing like with Floyd and that, it wasn't orchestrated. Literally, we bumped into Floyd on the road, and said, bro, we're shooting. Can we get a quick cameo? Boom, no problem. And I literally done that scene in no more than 2 minutes, if that. So literally, he was at the lights. Imagine that. The cars pulled up at the stoplights. He saw that we had the cameras out. He said, what, you filming? Yeah, cool, no problem. Get me. Bang. And by the time the lights turned green, he was gone. It was as simple as that. So literally, like, it was so run and gun, but it was dope.
Yeah, man. That was going to be my next question. Like, Floyd was in that video, and I was going to ask about how you got in that video. But in terms of your relationship, you've carried on with Floyd and TMT. So, like, how's that progressed for you?
Yeah, it's been dope, man. So basically, when they came over to London, this is years ago now. My cousin actually put me in contact with them because they wanted someone to come and film one of their events. So I basically went down, I met up with the guys, we built up a really good rapport with each other, and yeah, like ever since, I've literally been a part of the team, and when I'm out there, they look after me, I got them, they got me, And the same vice versa. Like whenever I'm out there, they put me up in the house, give me cars. Like it's cool, man. It's dope. So yeah, man, it's nice, man.
Yeah, shout out the money team, man.
Yeah.
You've shot thousands of videos, being a part of crazy projects. What would you say is the most crazy one for you personally?
Oh wow. You put me on the spot now. Do you know what's mad? Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Like, it's frustrating for me because I know I've shot so many videos, yeah. But what I will say is I don't believe that anybody's seen the best of me as yet. I'm not confident with half the things that I put out. Like I said, I feel like a lot of the stuff that I've done has been run and gun. A lot of the stuff has been just me just working under pressure, which I'm cool with. But like I don't feel I've still had that one project as yet that I can say, yeah, do you know what? Cool. That's the best of me. It's coming. 100% it's coming, but I don't feel like I've done it with it at all.
Well, for me, one of the craziest ones that I've seen recently was the young Dolph one.
Okay,
in the middle of Soho.
That was
a big one.
You know, that was a lot of random stuff happened that day. It was a dope video, 100%.
Yeah.
Definitely. Again, even with that, it was impromptu. We had girls half naked in Leicester Square, like parading around. It was dope. It was a very good experience, but it was, again, just very, very run and gun. Dope.
For anyone who wants to be a video director, to work with the artists that you have, what would some of the advice or what were some of the tips you would give them?
Do you know what? You need to just literally, if you're passionate about something, you have to follow your heart. Most importantly, above all, above anything, you have to be willing to invest in yourself. Invest time, invest knowledge. You have to do research in regards to your craft. That's always going to be my defining piece of factual information. You have to be willing to invest time. If you don't invest, you're not going to get anything back.
So recently we've seen the killing of George Floyd, which has sparked sort of crazy debates across the world. As a black man, how did you feel when you saw that?
Devastated. Mortified, to be honest with you. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because, and obviously, like, it's not as bad here in the UK, but there's definitely, racism is definitely a very big thing. It's always going to be an issue that we're all suffering. And I think even more so, when that killing happened, it sparked so much riots and so much hate, amongst different cultures and different people. For me, that was the most frustrating thing, seeing how it began to play out and how it started to segregate and divide people. That's what was frustrating for me, because I feel like, especially now, we're in a time whereby we should be unifying and uniting more. Even now, like, especially now when we've got this whole COVID thing going on, like, we don't need like more segregation and more division. We need to be working a lot more so with one another to try and help solve situations. And you know what I'm saying to you? So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
Yeah, man. Because I saw that you was participating in the marches across London.
Yeah.
The B.E.A.M marches across London alongside Mega and a couple of other people. How important is it for you to keep protest marches going to bring awareness to the situation?
It's definitely important. Like I said, I think for me, more so, when I'm involved in these things, it's not because I don't want to be a part of anything that's going to, like I said, segregate anybody. I'm not here for that. I literally want more of us to be united with one another. That's my whole thing. I feel like there's more that we all should be doing as people to help one another. I feel like there's a lot more that we should be doing to understand one another as well. And I just feel like with the marches, some people are marching. You know what? It's frustrating because I feel like some people are marching just for the sake of it. Like there's people out there marching for clout. Yeah, which is very, very ridiculous. But there are people that are actually out here trying to bring awareness to the reality of the situation, which is, like I said, like there is a big divide. There is a big divide. And there's just much more that can be done. There's so much more that can be done. And I don't think there is enough people of our colour, that are actually taking a marching flag and actually doing what they should be doing or what they can be doing to try and help the situation or the narrative.
Yeah, man. No, I totally get what you're saying, and you know, it's some people are in it for real.
Yeah.
Some people are just there for the gram.
Yeah.
So you definitely don't need those people there for the gram.
Yes, it's long. It's long.
So what's next for you, bro, man? What are you working on?
I've got various things that I'm doing at the moment. I've got a building that I've just taken over in Stratford. It's an old furniture factory, and we're converting it into like a music and film artist spaces, a creative hub, to basically work and develop with young people. We're going to do a lot of youth development projects. Some of it with the council, the local council, but the whole purpose of the building is to literally just do a lot of youth-related stuff creatively for young people. So that's a major thing that I'm working on right now, and hopefully that's going to be up and running by the end of the year. I've set up a charity called the Global Family Fund as well, which is basically to support families that have lost people through COVID, but more to give them like financial aid and support, mental support as well. So we've got various psychotherapists and financial advisors as well that are there to support and help these people as well. I set up another company called The Mask as well, which is, I know you've probably seen like some of these Louis Vuitton masks that people are wearing, but I basically was the one to make those. But then I've got my own brand as well called the 1111, which I'm going to start pushing out there. So we've got some of my own masks that I've got quite a few people wearing right now, and tracksuits. That's going to be coming as well, hopefully quite soon. Various things, man. Like I'm a creative man, so like there's so many different things. There's things that I'm remembering like 24/7, but it's different things creatively, man. That's me. And I feel like definitely within the next 4 to 5 years, you're probably gonna see the best in me now. Yeah, definitely, man.
Well, man, for people that want to follow the journey and what you're doing, where can they find you, man?
So on my website, which is frostedicinc.com, that's where you're gonna see like the main basis of everything that I'm doing. On my Instagram as well, frostedicinc. I've got Sir Frost as well. The Mask, which is the Mask ma5k.com. That's for all of the mask apparel. And 1111. That's another website as well.
Yeah, man. Well, bro, appreciate you coming through, man. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. And yeah, man, just looking forward to the next 3 to 5 years, as you said, and beyond.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, appreciate you coming through.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it, man.